Killua Zoldyck, my 7th favorite character, my 3rd favorite shonen anime. Overrated AF. Let me show you the reasons I think this character is trash, soft, and at times ops. Warning, spoilers go up to the end of the Hunter x Hunter anime and on the Hunter x Hunter movies Phantom Rogue and The Last Mission. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Hunter x Hunter content. Before I start, I want to point out some things I like about Killua, which is why he is my number 7 favorite character. 1. I'd be lying if I said he wasn't cool. A 12-year-old assassin armed with skateboards and yo-yos, poison and electricity resilience, nen proficiency, and electricity manipulation, he's an interesting character to say the least. And number 2, Gon and Killua are my favorite duo in anime because of their fights, their usually healthy rivalry, their absolute best friendship, their boyish antics, etc. Everything about Gon and Killua I like better than any 2 names you could couple together in anime, and they are only the 5th and 7th favorite characters on the list. That says something about the impression their dynamic has given me. And furthermore, the 4 main protagonists are definitely one of my favorite 4-man teams. Hunter x Hunter is so high on my list for a number of reasons, but one of the many is indeed the 4 protagonists, how they interact with and balance each other as well as their individual abilities. And that 4-man group is incomplete without Killua. They really are the boys. But anyway, enough of that nice talk, on to the disrespect. Physically inferior to Gon upon first meet in my opinion. Tied with Gon in a foot race after Gon was running longer and he was skating. Killua did start running pretty early in the overall phase 1, but going off the scene where Nicholas clocked that the run last year was 40 kilometers or about 25 miles, and Nicholas stated that they should be nearing the end, this scene happened before the scene where Killua gets off his skateboard. So by my estimation, they had already ran about 20 miles before he got off. Killua and Gon end up racing to the halfway point, and they tie when Gon had less energy than Killua. Trash. He's a quitter when he meets a real challenge. He got agitated, gave up on training with Netero, and made a lame excuse as to why he didn't get the ball before killing 2 randoms to feel better about himself. Netero, who is far superior to Gon and Killua, was toying with them. Instead of staying to get much needed experience from trying to win the game they were playing, he throws a fit and leaves before killing 2 applicants walking by. Trash and soft. I'll give him the last one though because they did harass him after he ignored the fact they bumped into him. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That heart-ripping feat is moot. This one is more so due to his fan base and overall Killua wank. Killed a normal human with strong fingers, but his fans like to think that feat wins him fights with actual superhuman across fiction. Jonas, as Killua said himself, was an amateur, and Killua is a former pro assassin. Online, if you put Killua in a versus battle, they will bring up him ripping someone's heart out. Well, guess who he can do it to? Not a planetary pirate or a continental ninja, not a regular human in some other verses, nor even a standard nen user in his own verse. Trash. He has less potential than Gon when it comes to nen in my opinion. He needed a trainer to learn any nen while Gon learned an aspect on his own. As we saw in the 4th phase of the Hunter exam, Gon learned Zetsu on his own while trailing Hisoka. Killua knows 0 nen by the time him and Gon learn it from Wing. Trash. He's a petty crybaby. Was upset that Gon was ranked higher than him and worried that he had less potential than Gon. Like you would think a friend would be happy to see that their inferior friend had blossoming potential, but not for Killua. All he can worry about is his own development. I want to call him ops for this, but this was still early in him and Gon's friendship, so I'll classify this as soft. He lacks discipline. Got agitated and went all out on Zushi when he realized he couldn't low diff him. Y'all boy met nen and learned fast he can't swing in the streets with nen users. Zushi would have actively mid-diffed Killua had this been a deathmatch. Killua throws a bitch fit and hits Zushi full power, sending him from the ring. Trash and soft. Mouthy but scared AF. After being cocky and dismissive to the fact not known to him at the time that Wing could have killed him at any moment, Wing uses his nen to show Killua his bloodlust, and even though both Gon and Killua felt it because they were right next to each other, Killua had jumped to the ceiling from fear like the he is. I know y'all gonna say that bloodlust wasn't aimed at Gon, but more so Killua's reaction after being so cool and nonchalant about it before fearing for his life a few seconds later. Soft. Mean to Leorio, one of the boys. Told Gon to leave Leorio behind, remembered Gon and Kurapika's name but forgot Leorio's, and even though he was mainly correct, he doubted Leorio when he said that he had learned nen. I want to point out that he doesn't act this way towards Kurapika due to the fact that Kurapika is stronger than him, so in my opinion, out of respect and or fear of superiority, he holds Kurapika at a higher regard. Trash and ops. Betrayed Zeppao. He knocked out Zeppao when he went out of his way to help them in York New City by keeping them from getting swindled upon his debut, helped Gon get his license back, and even questioned if Leorio was really their friend after the latter joked about running off with Gon and Killua's $350 million. This isn't to paint Leorio in a bad light, but to highlight the nobility and loyalty Zeppao had towards Gon and Killua even after only knowing them for a few days, if that. Zeppao decides to take the Hunter exam to sell his license for money, and Killua, who goes to take it as well, knocks out Zeppao along with the other applicants, causing Zeppao to fail. Ops. holding Gon back. While Gon was admittedly facing a setback of his own, which was being too weak in Nen to fight against Knuckle, so a Gon hater could say trash, but Gon was always the less developed of the two, who was progressing quickly, so I would excuse this. Killua, on the other hand, was dealing with the setback of being scared of his opponent. Soft. He doesn't get excused because of how cocky he was all throughout the show. And even Bisky, Gon and Killua's grand teacher, if you will, who trained them in the Greed Island and Chimera Ant arc, had a talk with him about how if he can't get over his fear and defeat Shoot, he shouldn't tag along with Gon anymore because he is a liability. Her exact words in the subbed anime were that his weakness is that he is too quick to give up, that even when facing an enemy with equal strength, he worries about how strong they are or what they might do to him. Bisky finishes with saying somewhere down the line that he will leave Gon to die. Your boy is soft, and based on what Bisky saw, it's potentially ops. Now what I say next may excuse Killua of a lot of the soft charges to y'all, but not to me. Not 100%. Killua actually had a device implanted by his older brother Illumi that caused a lot of his softness, causing him to not fight opponents that he viewed as stronger and whatnot. He later takes it out. Literally slower than Slowpoke. His Godspeed is not lightning speed. That's the name of the move. He is slower than Netero, who is only able to attack at the speed of sound. And if he was running light speed, that means his butler, who can turn to a motorcycle, has relative speed. Why did I bring up the Pokemon Slowpoke? Because a Pokemon named Slowpoke in base has higher reaction speed than him, and its evolved forms Slowbro and Slowking have FTL scaling faster than light. Travel-wise, Killua would win the race, but in a fight, Slowpoke cooks. Trash. For who it may concern, these Slowpoke statements are based on scaling from other Pokemon and is not a result of feats. This was backed up by Versus Battle Wiki, but the wiki can be wrongly edited via ignorance or bias and should only be used as a reference. Now, even though this was in the non-canon movies, I'm still adding it to the list. Betrayed Gon. In the movie Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rogue, Killua has a nightmare of his brother Illumi telling him he will betray Gon, and he wakes up and tells Gon he would never betray him. Later, Gon meets a girl who he becomes friends with, and Killua becomes jealous. After that, they begin fighting a puppet of Illumi that begins to take Killua's eyes. Gon saves him and has his eyes taken instead. Killua runs away, leaving Gon. Killua is about to commit suicide when Gon stops him after tracking him down with his sense of smell. This should honestly be a 2-in-1. Kinda want to call him Ops for getting jealous over Gon making a new friend like a blocker, but I'll just have to call him annoying for that one because Gon was his first friend. But to then have to get saved by Gon, and then to leave him after he told him he would never betray him, and then to try to end it to be saved by Gon again? Trash, soft, and Ops. Bisky called this in the Chimera Ant arc. Saved by Gon for the trillionth time. In the second Hunter x Hunter movie, Gon once again has to save Killua. When the character Jed was trying to infect Killua with his blood to give him Own, a non-canon power in Hunter x Hunter verse shown in this movie that is a sinister version of Nen, Gon saves Killua and gets infected himself. Trash! Lastly, before we conclude, I want to add the fact that I honestly don't believe in any of the Zoldicks. The entire family's trash. I like Killua the most, but the best member is Illumi, for seemingly being relative in strength to Hisoka, hinted by them threatening each other in the first and last anime arc. Both Silva and Zeno were getting playfully soloed by Crollo, the leader of the Phantom Troop. Kaluto was getting masterfully outshined by multiple members of the troop. Maluki seems worthless, but I guess isn't that because his father trusts him to kill 15 people to lend him 15 billion. The mother is only good at sneak attack friendly fire and getting stabbed by her son from what I've seen. And Alika isn't a character. It's a weapon that only Killua can use without risking a massacre. People love hyping this family of failures up, but they are overrated manure like the Hyuga clan from Naruto. And I guess the icing of the cake, like I hinted in my first Baki video, the Hunter x Hunter verse is actually pretty low tier when it comes to power. A night and day difference from the top tier position I have it at quality wise. My favorite character in the verse, and one of, if not the strongest shown character so far, Meruem the Chimera Ant King, is at or beneath mountain level at best in terms of attack potency and destructive capacity, based off this feat of him blasting a hole in a cliffside that wasn't exactly as big as a mountain in my opinion. Meruem is also at or below sound speed due to scaling from his fight with Netero. So back to Killua, his fans have him beating characters he has no business fighting when he isn't anywhere near the strongest or most proficient at the energy system of his already low in power verse. The Killua wank has to stop, power and quality. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm valid or just a Killua hater like my friends think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Hunter x Hunter content.